Hi, this is Dr. Tamisha Denis, and today on The Modern Smile, we're going to be talking about oil pulling.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
This is Dr. Tamisha Denis, and this is The Modern Smile. Oil pulling has become very popular recently for its positive benefits. So today, as a dentist, I'm going to sort through fact or fiction. What are the truths about oil pulling? And also, what are the things that are not so true about oil pulling?
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
So what exactly is oil pulling? Oil pulling is an Ayurvedic, I hope I said that right,
Okay.
dental technique that is used to cleanse the mouth.
So fresh and so clean.
It involves swishing a tablespoon of an oil. In this case today, I'm going to be using coconut oil, and allowing it to pull toxins from underneath the gums and cleanse and detoxify the mouth.
Great. Wow.
It claims to improve your oral health. So today, I'm going to go a little deeper and to examine the claims associated with oil pulling so I can help you figure out if oil pulling is something that you should try.
Looks like there's a lot you don't know about.
We're going to figure out which is fact and which is fiction. Let's talk about some of the benefits of oil pulling. Removes bacteria in the mouth, helps prevent cavities and gingivitis, whitens the teeth, and improves bad breath.
I have really bad breath in the morning.
Helps heal bleeding gums, helps detoxify the body, supports normal kidney function, boosts the immune system. Helps fight inflammation. Before we talk about what's fact or fiction associated with the oil pulling claims, let's talk about the basics of oil pulling. Step one, and what are the best oils to use for oil pulling? So today I'm going to be using coconut oil, which I think smells delicious and tastes delicious, but there are also a variety of other oils that you can use for oil pulling. Sesame oil, sunflower oil, even olive oil, among a lot of others. How do you oil pull? Step one, put 1 to 2 teaspoons of oil, or in this case, because it's solidified, coconut oil into your mouth.
Liquid hot magma.
Step two, swish for 20 minutes. Step 3, use a trash can. Try not to spit the oil into your sink. You can clog it. Step 4, rinse with salt water or just regular water. Step 5, brush. So we're going to go through some of the claims that oil pulling has and whether or not they have legitimacy.
True or false?
I have seen very radical claims in terms of what oil pulling can do for your mouth, but also what it can do for your body. There have actually been scientific studies for oil pulling, meaning they took a group of people and they tried oil pulling on them and saw what the benefits were.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
So let's start with the first fact. The first fact is oil pulling helps to reduce the bacteria that causes gingivitis. There was a study, it's called The Effect of Oil Pulling on Plaque-Related Gingivitis. And they found that oil pulling can actually decrease the plaque-forming bacteria in your mouth. So that definitely is a fact. Now, the myth is that oil pulling can cure periodontal disease. Now, if you have watched any of my other videos, you will know that periodontal disease is not just simply a disease related to bacteria, But if we're talking about gingivitis, gingivitis is just inflammation of the gum. So if you're using oil pulling to help decrease the inflammation in your gum, along with good hygiene, most definitely that will work. But the myth that oil pulling can cure gingivitis is simply not true because of the mechanism or the way that you get gum disease. Now, if you see a tooth that has periodontal or gum disease, you will notice that there is a ring of plaque. We call it calculus. The reason we call it calculus is because calculus means it's hard, it's calcified. So every day when we brush our teeth, we brush away plaque. However, when that plaque does not get brushed away and it stays, it gets stuck to the tooth. And even the best brusher cannot brush it away. And that's what we call calculus. Now that calculus ring that goes around the tooth is what causes irritation to the gum and irritation to the bone, causing the bone to recede. So if you have periodontal or gum disease and you do not remove that ring of plaque, then your gum disease cannot be cured by using an oil or rinse the plaque away because the plaque is simply too hard. The true treatment for that is what people call deep cleaning, or dentists called scaling and root planing, which means that we actually physically scrape up the plaque that is surrounding the tooth to allow the tooth to heal. So oil pulling cannot cure periodontal disease, although it is still a good thing to do if you have periodontal disease, as long as you're doing the other efforts. Fact number 2, oil pulling can help prevent cavities. Now that definitely is also a fact. The reason is everything has to do with bacteria. So the bacteria in your mouth, and everybody, and I say this all the time, bacteria lives everywhere. It lives in your mouth, it lives on your skin, it lives everywhere. But the bacteria in your mouth that causes tooth decay, also causes gum disease, that bacteria, when you eat, they eat. So when you have something sweet to eat, for example, their byproduct or their waste product is acid, and that acid eats away at your tooth, causing a cavity. So oil pulling can reduce the bacteria that causes tooth decay. So when you're rinsing with that oil, you're cleansing, you're killing that bacteria, and it will help you to prevent cavities. Now, the myth is that oil pulling can cure a cavity, but if you have a tiny cavity and it has not progressed, yes, oil pulling can help you to prevent that cavity from getting bigger, or can prevent you from getting cavities in general because it's decreasing your bacterial level. Now, if you already have a cavity that has progressed and it's getting bigger and bigger, there is no oil pulling that can mineralize your enamel and put the enamel back where the cavity or the acid from the bacteria is eaten away. So oil pulling cannot cure a cavity. Oil pulling cannot get rid of a tooth that needs a root canal because it's already traveled to the nerve, but it can help to prevent a cavity. Now, here's another fact. The act of using the oil pulling. Now, when you saw me oil pulling, you could not see exactly what I was doing in my mouth. And what I do is when I put the oil into my mouth, I'm doing like a sucking action. So what I try to do is so as the oil is in there, it gets in and around the gums, and then you suck it. So you're doing like this suction action where the oil falls into your gums and gets pulled out, and in and out, and in and out. And we call that process emulsification or sponification. And it's almost like a soap. It's rinsing, it's cleansing, it's rinsing. So it's not just the nature of the oil itself that's great, but also the action of oil pulling, the action of kind of drawing things out of the gums, drawing things out of the gums. And like I talked about before, no, it's not going to draw plaque out of the gums, but it'll help to cleanse and draw the bacteria out of the gums. So it's definitely a fact that's just the action or the mechanism of oil pulling is good for your gums and your teeth. Now, the fictional part of that is that oil pulling is not the only thing that can do that. Simply brushing your teeth and flossing your teeth also reduces bacterial levels, also does the action of drawing things out of your gums, especially when you floss correctly and you go in between each tooth and rub on each side mechanically. And that's what's so important about brushing and flossing, is that you cannot just rinse things away, that you actually have to remove them. So imagine you had a big chunk of meat in your teeth or a big chunk of candy. If you rinse with Listerine or rinse with oil, you cannot magically take that piece out. You physically have to remove it. So that's why oil pulling alone, we say it's an adjunctive technique. It's an adjunctive dental technique, meaning it helps with the other positive things you're doing, but nothing can replace brushing and flossing. Oil pulling whitens teeth. Now, that is debatable. That's one of those ones that I'm not quite sure if oil pulling is able to whiten your teeth. And the reason that I don't know if that is true, because positive oral hygiene, cleaning, oil pulling, brushing, flossing also whitens your teeth. So anything you do can actually help to whiten your teeth. Can oil pulling actually whiten? I don't believe that coconut oil has the properties in it able to whiten. Can oil pulling lift the stains off of your teeth? And the action of using oil pulling to wash and also to brush, I think that you will end up with a whiter smile. But I think that's because you are paying more attention to your oral hygiene in general, and we can't give all the credit to the coconut oil. Oil pulling does help to improve bad breath. And the reason that is also true, because if it's reducing the bacterial level in your mouth, and then it also is causing you to have just general better oral health, naturally your bad breath will improve. I love the smell of coconut oil and most of the oils that we discuss. So definitely oil pulling can help make bad breath smell fresher. So that's my opinion on oil pulling today. I hope you got some value from it, and I have no doubt that there are positive health benefits to oils in general, and I love natural products. So I hope that I gave you a different perspective from a dentist perspective as far as what is the facts and what are the things that are just myths about oil pulling, so you can use it in the right way to get its maximum benefit. This has been Dr. Tamisha Denis, and this is The Modern Smile. Don't forget to subscribe to this video and like it, make comments, ask questions, interact as much as you can. Thanks again for watching.